to pay for CFO.
I mean, for you to own a land, you have to have documents to show that indeed you own that land. So, but when you just buy a land from landowners, family, they say family receipt.
Family receipt, yeah. And
Family receipt.
I got a type
But people should know that that family receipt is not authentic enough to stand you in the test of time when it has to do with documentation. It is the beginning of your ownership, but it is not the ultimate. It's the same thing. I remember that the Lagos State. Do they have Attorney General in the states? Okay, they have Commissioner. Yeah, Attorney General.
Commissioner of Justice.
But they always said something about you want couples, particularly wives, not to rely on land belonging to Mr. and Mrs. Tochukwu Ezekama. There's no such thing in law. The law does not recognize Mr. and Mrs. The law separates in entities. So if you own the land and you and your wife co own the land, it has to be the land belonging to Mr. Tochukwu Ezekama and Mrs. Elizabeth. I don't know what your wife's name is. So this are all proper documentation for people to know before you did. I own this. So thankfully, the CFO, they have to go there no matter how highly placed you are. Go there, do proper documentation, profiling, and then you can beat your chest that you own that land.
Okay, National Assembly lauds Dangote for investments in heavy-duty trucks assembly.
Here in Nigeria, yeah, of course. It's been here. It's not the first time that we have a such huge investment.
There used to be Stair.
In Enugu.
No, Stair was Caterpillar.
Stair, it's heavy duty.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Enugu had
Anamco.
Yeah,
Anamco in Enugu.
Coupled trucks.
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Lagos here, Pan.
In the
National Assembly.
Then you don't forget the one I mentioned just now, Leyland in Ibadan. All those ones are gone with the winds. So if Dangote is trying to bring it back, well, we hope that people will take a cue from it, and then let's also have other players, so that it can spread just the way it spread before the 80s, in the 70s, before we went back.
Before
okay,
dropped the ball.
Yeah. Kalu committed to people-oriented legislative frameworks. Kalu is the deputy speaker.
Oh, Ben Kalu.
Yeah.
But again, I think they are now. I don't know if you saw it in the news that they are going to, on the 31st of December, they are going to hand over about 704 million naira to the federal government to distribute specifically to indigent people, what they call this conditional cash transfer. You know, they promised around June that they were going to have their salaries and put the proceeds together. Now they've done 5 months. I think this is the 6th month, so that they'll be collecting half salaries. But imagine how much they have salary. How much is their salary? So that's what
it's still staggering. Staggering amount.
Somebody had said the salaries is not the
it's not
thing.
the issue. It is all the
perks, what did they call them?
Allowances. Tuition allowance.
That's where the devil is there.
So but now they said imagine.
So
for about 6 months, all they were able to gather is 700 something million. Does that make any?
All right, gentlemen, quickly, let's race through the last but not the least paper. The Sun. Battle for state police intensifies.
You took first side?
Yeah, it's all fine.
Almost all 36 state governors had said yes.
Yes, state police is fine, because we keep talking about restructuring, and we keep thinking it will all happen one day. Nigeria will sit down and restructure in one day. It's a slow process. So if the states can control the police and with time control other aspects of governance, that is all good. People are concerned about abuse. Most of our governors have not demonstrated the discipline, the self-control needed for state police. But let's start. Then in the process, we learn, we have experience.
Think how we do it. But may I? Yeah. You know, we always talk about America. That's how it's done. But I even though I would want us to transition to state policing system, but I am guided. I am not totally for it. The reason is that
Guided and guarded.
I'm guided. The reason is this: if you still have a regime where it is the president that nominates or that appoints the IG, it is the state government that the governor that are going to be appointing.
Yes.
I have a problem with that. If we want to really emulate or copy America, what they do over there is that most of these police, the one in county, what the sheriffs and all that, they are elected. For instance, we have a CDA system in Lagos, the Community Development Association. These people, they can put police 1, 2, 3 forward to say, okay, they are elected. So in that case, the mandate given to that police, maybe police commissioner of police,
It's from the people.
is for the people,
not from the
they
government.
can also remove it, not from the
The
government.
details can be
That's
worked
it.
out, but let's
All right.
Know when you appoint.
principles.
Gentlemen, time is tight.
Yeah.
Another story. Army Council approves promotion of 108 major generals. Actually, should be majors general.
Yeah, majors general.
And brigadiers general.
I think they said they are due for it, went for exams
Yeah.
and all that. So I wish them well. It's to the next level for them. Yes.
Okay. Obi of Onisha unveils Ijele masquerade sculpture in Enugu. Lord Mbaz development strides.
That's good.
Unveils. That story I read just a bit of it. Obi of Onitsha unveils masquerade in Enugu State. Is it? I don't know. Maybe on invitation, or the jurisdiction does not cover Enugu at all. Because
No,
you have
but
the
it
Obi
is-
of
it's-
Enugu, Ezike, and all that.
They have all the smaller chiefs. The Obi of one is like the number one king in Igbo land. There are three.
Yeah, but no, because you are.
It's
you
not
are-
his
no,
jurisdiction.
You are Onisha. You are from Onisha.
I'm from outside of Onitsha.
But
Ogidi.
Ogidi,
Very
okay,
close
Ogidi,
to-
Onisha, okay,
very close, yeah.
But some of your Igbo folks or some Igbo folks may not agree with you when you say number one. You understand? Because I also know there's even one that
You have of Uguta, you have of Arochukwu, you have of Onitsha. Those are
the arrow. The
three
arrow
most
also,
powerful.
the arrow also has two.
It has two
And they
kings.
also have problem. You have the Eze something arrow. Then you now have Eze Mbomisi on the bomb. Eze that
Of Aro too.
of Arrow.
Okay.
Because Arrow Chukwu has about 19 villages. I think because I did coach. There was time I was an editor of a culture magazine, so it made me to travel this area. You have the Eze Arrow. That's
Okay,
supposed
yeah.
to be
The
paramount.
overall, yes.
But the Eze Bomisi, he said no, he's not answerable to that. So you couldn't say that Eze Arrow Chukwu is also.
Those are the three recognized class H.
All
Class A.
right, all right,
Then
folks.
you have class C.
Gentlemen, let's
So-
hand over the microphone to the listener. Time for you to, react to the stories we shared. The number is simple: 0700 903 903 903. How do you react to the story or stories we shared? And believing that you are going to go ahead, get a copy of your favorite paper, sort the stories, and make your informed perspectives. So let's go. Who breaks the ice? The first listener to break the ice here. 0700 903 903 903. Okay, while we wait, I had other stories to pick from the Sun. How Southeast can enjoy safe, secure Christmas. Anambra monarch Eze Mbamalu.
Yeah, Eze Mbamalu. Eze Mbamalu.
Is in Bamalu.
Eze
Mbamalu, yeah.
I live in Igbo land, so sometimes I understand some
Oh,
of this.
praise God.
Eze Mbamalu, yeah. But I think, but again, he also tied it to the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He thinks that the release of Nnamdi Kanu has a lot to do with de-escalating the tension. But if you de-escalate the tension, then people will have reassurances that indeed they could go home and nothing happens to them. Because as long as Nnamdi Kanu is still in incarceration, there are those who are loyal to him who may want to prevent trouble. That may not bode well for everyone. So he said that the government is appealing that Nnamdi Kanu should be released as as a
For
precursor.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is in contradiction with what Soludo just said a few days ago, Governor of Anambra
did he
State,
say?
that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will not affect, will not end insecurity in
Will
the
not change
Southeast.
anything.
Yes. Because a lot of criminal elements got involved. They are making money from it.
And it's
They-
not a franchise.
yeah,
Check
exactly.
this out.
Yeah. So you make
Yeah.
money, you make name by being part of IPOB or enforcing sit at home or kidnapping, whatever. So it's differences in opinion, but I'm inclined to believe that the governor has more intelligence, more information, and therefore a better position to make a more objective or reasonable comment on the matter. The situation in the southeast is very sad. It boggles the mind, but it's something leadership, responsible leadership on the part of the governors can resolve on the long run.
All right.
I wanted to respond to that.
I wonder if I'm to assume that nobody heard what we have said.
Maybe
Well-
for the system.
I hope it is not a glitch here.
Okay. No,
Otherwise, the line remains 0700 903 903 903.
Well, Tochiko, at some fora that have had cause to discuss the Igbo question, I've had cause to also look at the leadership system in Igbo land. And I personally believe, well, I haven't lived in Igbo land and also understand a journalist and somebody who has also who has traveled all over within Igbo land. I am of the opinion that the time has come for Igbo to the Igbo people, the Igbo country or the Igbo region to do away with Igbo Nwele's philosophy. Because if you continue to decentralize your system of leadership over there, it may not bode well. Because, for instance, look at the 5 Southeast governors you have. Is there any pool of ideas? Is there anywhere, anything that pulls them together to make a single statement or to pursue the Igbo interest? You find the one in Imo State pursuing Imo State interest also try to revalidate his
Loyalty
victory.
to the federal
You find
government.
the one in Enugu said, I want to secure Enugu. That's why you see whatever he's doing, doing everything possible to ensure that Enugu is secure. Then you find Soludo talking about Anambra, how to. So there doesn't seem to be this center pulling them together to look at the collective interest of the Igbo.
Were you going to use the word consensus?
We're consensus for collective. In the southwest here, anything that happens, you see all the 6 they come to talk about this is against the Yoruba interest. You see them marching on, coming together, traditional rulers, political leaders, all leaders of thought, Afenifere, all of them coming together to take a definite position for the interests of the Yoruba race, including even across our borders into the Ajashe people of Republic of Benin. You understand? So if the Igbo people can come to say, okay, not just this Governor General of Ohanese, it's just a position. It's a position that doesn't even, it can't command any respect.
No, it does not.
It does not. So if they come out to say, okay, Igbo has to Weze. The time has come for Igbo to Weze, to look up to, for guidance, to look up to, to hold the torch up for them. If they get there, they can begin to listen to. It may not be a single. It may be a collegiate leadership, a collection of and people, they defer to them. Not just when you say, okay, you are going over there, say, oh no, this is autonomous community. This is, you have all this autonomous community.
Autonomous communities.
Exactly. So I think a time has come for the Igbo people to begin to look at that state to say, okay, let's tinker with the system that has subsisted for so long. The Republican nature of that is not working anymore. Everywhere you go today, people find a way to come together. Consensus are formed. You find them looking for how to bridge the gap. You have this collective interest for people. You go to Edo State. You outside Edo, you may not hear any. Even though we have internal wrangling over there, you understand. But once you get there, there's no Islamic interest. There's no Christian interest. Everybody, all they do is that the 3 legs that Edo stands upon. Once you share position, give to the Esaman, just as a governorship has been zoned to them, give to the Afema man, comprising the Sako, Akoko Edo, and Onwa, give to the Benin speaking, and now everybody's happy. Whether you give it, whether you want to give the portion to Usman and Amodu, it doesn't matter. That's exactly what the Igbo people should start thinking about right now. Not this one that to say this or everything is autonomous. It's not going to help.
Yeah, we lack consensus. We used to have consensus when we have disciplined, responsible, and committed leaders like the Nnamdi Azikiwe, Timba, Mbadiwe, Ujuku's fathers, Louis.
Louis.
Ojukwu. But I think the war dealt a blow on that in many, many ways. I think Ojukwu deliberately dealt a blow on it. He needed to. I was reading about the effort Gowon made to bring Obafemi Awolowo to his side, knowing that he's a very brilliant man, very experienced politician. In Igbo land, we had comparable politicians to Awolowo, but Ojukwu deliberately shoved them to the side, discredited them, called them saboteurs. So what was built up, the consensus and power structure, was destroyed.
All right, we end it here, folks. I want to thank both of you for your perspectives on the stories shared. Dear listener, our next program is 5 minutes away. Thank you to Charles Ideho.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And to Tochukwu Izukama. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, folks. Good morning.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and pressure for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things and makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
If you want to be heard, say it here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
people, if you give them or promise them what they want, they will vote for you. Peter Obi has proven in the last election that a southeastern politician can be a Nigerian president. People across board voted for him.
True.
Even the Igbo elite, the southeast elite, were opposed to Peter Obi. But some Yorubas voted for Obi, some Edos, some Hausas, Southeasterners. So any Nigerian can win the election. Power is not given.
You fight for it.
Yeah, you struggle
Power is
for
not
it.
served a la carte.
Okay. Moses, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar says, God forbid, his words now in his X handle, God forbid that President Bola Tinubu would angle to be president again in 2027. But I know that the Constitution of
Does not
1999, as amended, gives an incumbent a shot
For a second term.
at his second term.
Yes.
Now, if I remember how Tony Blair responded or gave a rebuttal to a journalist who was overtly religious in a press conference then, the Prime Minister speaks. He told him that, oh, here we don't do God. Not because he was an unbeliever or an atheist, but we go by reason our constitution, though unwritten. Here we are not concerned about which or what prophecy comes in. And I will always remember what the June said, what that transpired in Second Republic, when a so-called prophet, Prophet Shamga, when Shagari won. But all of these things only show desperation. And let it be put out here straight, because sometimes some of these politicians, they play on the ignorance, they cash in on the fact that so many people are not really politically savvy. What Atiku has said is not constitutional. That a region has not produced the president, or never ever even produce the president, is not constitutional. What is constitutional is that if you must vie to become Nigeria's president, you must be above certain age, you must be sane, sound-minded, you must not be bankrupt, and all of these are the factors that will qualify you to be Nigeria's president or aspire for that office. Now, Atiku saying this, God forbid. It's not God to forbid this. It's for the electorate to forbid Tinubu for a second time. If he has not performed very well, if he has not given Nigerians what he promised, then it's incumbent on Nigerians to just vote him out. And I must, let me acknowledge the fact that I think the former vice president, he believes in the system. For him to keep taking shot at it, whether at the primary level, as in primary presidential, candidate level, or at the national level, he believes that.
Does he appreciate that he does not stand a chance in 2027, being from the north? Given the fact that the incumbent has a chance to
also run for the second time.
Another 4 years.
Oh, yes. But it stands a chance. As I was saying, my train of thought, that I believe strongly that former Vice President Atiku believes in the system. Hence, he keeps contesting. He believes that votes count. You can say it whatever you want to say it, or however you want to, but I believe strongly that votes count. If I consider how 2-3 House of Rep members who are currently there right now, how they got into office, one from Kaduna was an Okada rider. He became an House of Rep member. Even my own House of Rep member from Oshodi Solo Consent, Tony, is it Tony? I can't remember the name, but I think it's Tony. This man came from nowhere, although many of them rode on the popularity of Peter Obi, but he won. He's in the House right now. What I'm saying is that our votes come to the point that regardless of where you come from, your background, if you play your card very well, you extend your hands across the bridge, you will win. So I think Atiku believes that.
Tochukwu.
Yes.
The north-south conundrum.
The north-south conundrum is part of the zoning, the rotational issue. It's our
which
turn.
is not constitutional.
It's our turn. It's not our turn. It's not only not that is not constitutional. I am opposed to it. Let Nigerians struggle for power. It was Mao Zedong who once said that power flows from the barrel of the gun. That was relevant. That was apt.
And the same,
as of the China, early 20th century
the
China.
same Mao Zedong reminds you and I that in war, you are killed once. In politics,
You are
you are
killed
killed
many
many
times.
times.
Yes.
Only that Mao Zedong is not a model to copy.
No. I said in the early 20th century, China, when Mao was talking, it made a lot of sense. These days, power does not flow from the barrel of the gun. Power flows from the ballot box. But even as
And
power...
so according to Abe Lincoln, the ballot is stronger than the bullet.
Yes. But even as power is, as democracy is advancing and power is flowing from the ballot box, the struggle for power is not for everybody. Richard Nixon, a former US president, once said that the power is not for everybody because it takes a unique kind of man to win the struggle for power. So any region, any geopolitical zone that cannot produce that unique kind of man to win the struggle for power in a national election, that is their wahala. That's their fault.
Okay,
so
take your
let Nigerians struggle for power and win the power because the electorate.
All right, take your time from us. 16 minutes past 8 in the city of Lagos, as indeed around the country. And today we're looking at the rotational presidency concept in Nigeria, the North-South conundrum.
When Atiku was talking about President Tinubu not being entitled for another fourth term, like I say,
No. 4 years.
Another 4 years, not fourth term, another 4 years.
He's not Roosevelt.
I've always said politicians must politic. Politicians must. We want to be in the news. They want to be relevant, and sometimes in doing that, they sound outlandish.
It is said politicians thrive in theatrics.
They can't betray their appellation. They can't.
That's the word. They need to be seen, and sometimes in trying to be seen, in trying to politic, in trying to be relevant, they say things that may not be taken too seriously. The Constitution allows the president 2 terms, so he can choose to run for another 4 years. It's for Nigerians to decide. The issue is for our elections to be fair and free, to be credible. For INEC to do its job, it's called Independent National Election Commission.
Electoral Commission.
Moses,
a former governor of New York City, New York State in America. I think the 52nd or 53rd.
Cuomo?
Mario Cuomo, said politicians campaign in poetry
and
govern in prose. Yeah, poetry and prose are 2 distinct types of
genres of literature. I think that's
Yeah. So, if we bring it home, don't you think our politicians campaign in poetry?
You know what? If I put it this way, you know what? I'm sure if I put out these names now, or just 1, 2 of them or 3, you appreciate where I'm going. Michael Bloomberg versus Chris Christie. Now, Michael Bloomberg is what you call just an ordinary local government chair or chairman. He was New York City mayor of New York City. Because when you mentioned the name of the then governor of New York, straight away it came to mind. And Chris Christie was formerly a governor in, I think, New Jersey, one of a very strong state in America, one of the biggest, when it comes to even their when it comes to their electoral college. Now, when you put the 2 of them on the global stage, Michael Bloomberg, an ordinary, I say that, carefully now, an ordinary mayor outshines Chris Christie in all manner, just because the democracy there works very well. No interference, nothing as we like. We're having ongoing Edo State right now. What I'm saying is that your title will just not lay foundation for your relevance in history, whether right now or even distant history. I think the vice president is desperate. No doubt about that. You've done this.
Former vice president
rather, is desperate. And truth is, your impact in life is not a function of the title you hold. We are just too title drunk in this part of the world. some of the greatest names in history, Aristotle, Socrates, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, and all of these people, many of them never held offices in that sense. You think of Mahatma Gandhi. He led
They
the
were not
struggle.
politicians.
They shouldn't be. What we all look out for right now at the end of our lives is the name. The other day we celebrated you 50 years behind a mic. For goodness sake, Sidney Jones doesn't have to be a governor in Akwa Ibom or president or even local government chair. But we know that as long as Nigeria is concerned, when you mention that name in the industry of broadcasting, you know that the name will open doors. We all want this name. If you consider Nigeria political landscape in the last 30, 40 years, there is only a few people that will trump Atiku. He has that presence. He has that name. And what some of them forget is that sometimes you even attain certain position, you assume certain roles, and all you work for just as in get destroyed. Museveni comes to mind. Mugabe comes to mind. These are people that when they were still freedom fighters, they were highly respected. And they became president. Today their names are in tatters. So the former vice president sounds too desperate. It's not God to forbid Tinubu becoming president for a second time. It is in the hands of Nigerians to determine that. And if you keep showing this, in the field I represent, my jurisdiction, the academic world, there is something that the highest prize in any academic endeavor, the Nobel Prize now, if you strive too hard, you will never win it. The more it shows this desperation, if I use that word almost to the point of cliche, the more it seems to elude him. And sorry, I don't know. Let me just put it that way.
Well, Bloomberg was a multi-millionaire and then mayor of New York City. And New York City has more relevance, more powerful than some states. So that was why he made a name.
Okay, no wonder the state was known as the Big Apple.
Yeah, it is the Big Apple, the most populous city in the United States of America. Okay, desperation, that's the word you use. Okay. Interesting, the Nigerians are so concerned about title, but like I've said in the past, time and time again, I want to bestow my name to posterity without a title. Because most outstanding human beings had no title.
They never had one.
Gandhi
They had no Aristotle, and you can go on and on.
No title, and many of them.
Mandela.
Yes, Mandela had no title.
He had eventually because he became president, but he had become Mandela before he became president.
No, I mean this time, I mean Dr. Alhaji, whatever. Title. President is a position that you are.
It's also titular.
I can be a teacher. A teacher is a title too. Principal, manager. That's it's comparable to being a president. So. But the South, not South, this dichotomy, we should do away with it, but we've not been able to because of our primordial sentiments. Nigeria is yet to give us a sense of a unifying purpose, sense of
okay.
unifying theme.
The listener is talking to us, so let me share what Elder Samuel at Oshodi is saying. Good morning, BOP. Tochukwu, you said it's the people that would forbid and not God, as Atiku said. How sure are you that in 2027 the people's vote will count?
Yeah,
what do you have on ground to make you believe that the people can have their way come 2027?
That's why I talked about INEC doing its job. INEC rising above some of its drawbacks and becoming truly independent, becoming the ultimate arbiter in the Nigerian elections being credible and fair. That's why I mentioned that. Yeah, as we know, INEC as of now, INEC is a discredited institution, and it undid itself in the 1923 presidential election.
1923? That's about 100 and something years ago. Maybe you are thinking about Macaulay. Look, you know what?
Mixing up my dates. I mean, 2023 election, it undid itself. They need to clean itself out. It needs to
reinvent itself,
punish its image. It needs to reinvent itself. So, but as of now, Nigerians have no respect for INEC. It lost its credibility totally.
So in 2027, Who does INEC's job?
INEC will still conduct the election in
All I'm
2027.
asking is that
They will still conduct the elections.
we have not. There are no two INECs. There are no two electoral bodies. No two electoral arbiter. So it's still INEC. But before then, for its own good, let it clean up its image.
I think Nigerians should grow politically. And okay, from my research, I think we have about the world over about 16 or 17 federal republics or federal states. It's a country that you can call federal. Germany is one of them. India is one of them. Now, where am I going with this? In some of the biggest states in what do you call now in Germany, some of them have never produced their leader, who you call now the chancellor. That's the title of the head. No, in Germany, the chancellor. Some of them have never produced the chancellor. But has this stopped them from being Germans? No. You go to India, states like Uttar Pradesh, Orissa, and the like. They've not produced any prime minister. In fact, sometimes it's about some small states, some almost inconsequential states, if you use that term now to describe them.
And,
they have produced,
and if I take you to the United States of America,
yes,
father and son have been presidents.
So we've got to share this Peter Panish attitude of ours. Look, as I said before, the North-South conundrum is not constitutional. I will keep saying this because we educate here. Because there are ways that these things seep into the minds of so many unsuspecting Nigerians, and they run with it. They don't think, oh, the North could as well have produced all presidents since 1999. It's constitutional. Nothing forbids them. But for convenience and convention's sake, oh, okay, now South, you've done for 4 years, as though it is something to share. You've done. It's our turn. All these ludicrous sentiments that they bring on board, at the end of the day, they don't even offer service. And you keep wondering, if we don't grow beyond all this, we'll keep discussing this forever. It's about time we left all of this behind and look at competence, which is the most, should be the first tiebreaker. As in football now, of course, I'm a football buff. When you want to consider who wins the league, the number of points you amass come first. If that will not do, then maybe goals difference or head to head. Our own first tiebreaker should be how competent are you? And I must again commend what the show put up by Peter Obi in the last election. He even came out late. Was still dilly-dallying. Should he stay in PDP? Eventually, Labour embraced him. And we saw what he could do in less than 6 or 7 months of real campaign. So it tells that that you are from this part of the country or that part of the country may not suffice and will not do any anymore. Yeah, so the earlier we realize this and grow, the better for us. Otherwise, we remain at the foot of the ladder, and people will laugh at us all of the time. So let us grow, please.
There are a number of factors at play. One thing is that with the oil boom and the money consciousness, the wealth consciousness it brought into the mind of Nigerians, we developed this tendency of it's our turn to enter there, it's our turn to chop.
To do nothing eventually.
Do nothing and just enjoy yourself, steal your money, punish your real and supposed enemies. And fester the nest of your relatives and friends. So that's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it is that we remain tribal in the way we think. We are all inherently tribalistic. It's just to what extent. So we became very tribal, and there's not been above that tribe. Nigerians, like I've always said, one Nigeria is not a homogenizing vat where different cultures blend into one.
It's not peculiar to us.
No, we are different.
It's not peculiar to us, Dochuku.
We are different cultures, different people roped together.
We should have outgrown that. We should have outgrown that.
No, we have not.
We should draw, enduring lessons from the United States of America. It is a country of nations.
Of course.
But we are not.
What about India?
We are not.
India is also a country of nations.
It's leadership that made it what it is.
Yeah.
So let us grow into that as well.
We lack the leaders that our leaders have failed to give us a unifying theme, a unified sense of purpose. Our leaders have failed to bring about cultural and political agglutinants that will hold different nations or different people into one country.
I hope
Until
when you
that
refer
is
to
done,
leaders, you are not talking of just at the federal level. What about at the state level?
You don't even have to be a politician to be a leader.
Fine.
A leader moves people from one point to the other. Leadership represents a current in history, and a current effortlessly moves people. Fela Ransom Kuti was a leader.
True.
He had a following, but he was not an industry chief.
No.
He was not a managing director.
No.
He was not a president.
Simply charismatic.
Yeah, so there are many leaders out there. Pastors are leaders.
True.
But when pastors that will teach you morality, teach you love for your neighbor, respect for others, love for country, decency, start teaching you
All right,
pay
all right,
money,
all right.
pay tithe and get rich.
Let me,
I know you were going there.
Just a minute. Let me involve the listener. Please, if you feel up to joining issues or raising new issues or raising new questions, this is the opportunity. 0700 903 903 903. Let's get you talking. That's the essence of radio. Waiting for the first call. Yeah.
For me, I also wrote somewhere, or not even read now, concerning this man, Boris Johnson. The jury is still out on which Boris Johnson really had more impact on society at large. Was it the mayor of London or the PM Boris Johnson? And the simple reason is that he almost destroyed all he had labored for when he became prime minister. You know what led him out? I mean, what got him out of office? Something rather trivial, so simple. What I'm still saying is that you're making impact in life is not. I mean, the common saying comes to mind is very apt here. Is it the hood that makes the monk or the monk that makes the hood? So the North-South conundrum will always bring us lower than expected. It will always bring us down. It hasn't helped anyone. Obasanjo was president for 8 years. Not a single road to Ota was constructed. Our dear elder statesman, because I refer to him as a true elder statesman now, President Jonathan, Otueke did not become El Dorado overnight. The current president, well, you can ask many of his ardent followers, they have been disappointed in almost 2 years of presidency. And you can go on and on. Buhari just left office. How the Katsina affair or the Northwest as a whole, as a region. So we should please let go of all this. Otherwise, we will not grow.
Politics is a game of sentiments and emotions.
Is that not why we are here in this morass?
Not a game of facts and figures.
The countries that excel today were logical.
The man from Obasanjo's hometown, Abeokuta, may not have benefited anything material from his presidency.
That is why we should not push this north-south theme.
But he gave him this emotional. He gave him this psychological satisfaction.
And where did he take him to?
No. Even, with human beings, it's not about money. Say,
Tochukwu, are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to yourself?
But then we get a lot of emotions from intangible things.
Are you listening to yourself?
So it gives you psychological satisfaction. Now, my brother did there.
And so what?
And so what?
My brother did there. What has he done to advance our country? So then don't advance it.
But in politics,
don't advance it.
No, we are not advancing it.
You are. Yes, you are.
We are talking about reality. We are talking about our reality. Why do we want our brother to be there? Why do we say it is our turn? Some people benefit materially from it, but most do not. But it gives them this sentimental satisfaction, psychological satisfaction that our people, my brother, is there. And that's the human reality. You can't take it away. You can talk all the logic, provide all the evidence, but that inherent feeling in man remains. Okay? So it's wrong. We have to rise above it. For now, we are yet to do so.
It's good you're admitting that you know you are wrong.
I mean, me wrong. I'm not wrong.
No, you see. You said.
I'm saying that sentiment of sharing power is our turn this time. Rotation is wrong. That's
so please don't advance it.
So but for now, it's a reality we have to deal with. Let's stop comparing ourselves with America.
Inevitably will. If we have to grow.
For one reason, our definition of citizenship is different. To the white man, where you are born is where you're from. Okay? To the African, Where your parents come from, blood lineage is where you're from. So in the U.S., if you're born in Washington, D.C., you're from.
Tochukwu, in Nigeria, Lagos is proving that you could be from west, north, east, and wherever, and be something.
True. Thank you for that.
Non-Yorubas in the Lagos State House of Assembly.
True. Very true.
So,
Which is still an aberration in Nigeria.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. If all states,
I'm not talking about what should be.
If all states emulate Lagos,
so I'm saying, it means it is possible.
Yes.
Do you think we are a long way from home?
Our home being where?
From growth, from development, advancement.
Let me make a point. I am an Igbo man. Even if I live in the north, was born in the north, and I'm 60 years, I am an Igbo man. But in the U.S., where you are born is where you're from. So your father can be from New York, and you can be from
Oklahoma.
Okay, so we define citizenship differently, and that's a factor. And there are a number of other factors that militate our just and are copying America.
Can't we copy that as well? Can't we copy that?
You have to go back to changing mindsets, changing cultures, and that cannot happen overnight. You can write anything in the law book. You can change the laws automatically, but you don't change attitudes, you don't change mindsets automatically.
Okay, here another installment from a listener. He's saying Tochukwu is right. At the end of those who are from the same region with the president would still vote for him when election comes, despite the fact that the man or the woman hasn't done anything to benefit his people from the same region. So Mr. Moses should stop trying to belittle Mr. Tochukwu.
There is no belittlement. How dare I do so to an elder like this? I am not, and I will not do that. Truth is this: we have what you call you refer to Woodrow Wilson, who was always thinking idealistically, but he shunned reality. Truth is, we may have our primordial sentiments, we may have our think, our mindset, but when we have to come together as a country, we have to jettison some of these things. Otherwise, we will not grow. We must.
What makes us jettison?
We must.
Leadership. The masses follow. The masses don't think. So if the leaders lead them in the right direction, they follow.
But these leaders emerge from the followership. They come from us.
Yes, they come from us. But if they are one of us, they wouldn't emerge leaders. If you're one of the boys, why are you leading? It's because you distinguished yourself, or you got the people to believe that you are better than them. You tell them, I know your problems and I will solve them for you. That's why they got you there. So they are one of us, but the exceptional few among us. And they are the ones that lead us right or lead us wrong.
Astray. I don't entirely believe that we've not had leaders. Yes, readily.
Was a leader.
Fine.
Was a
fine.
Leader. Ahmadu Bello was
fine.
A leader.
But it didn't end with the First Republic.
After that, the quality of our leaders dropped when the soldiers came in and bungled everything.
There we go again.
Yes. Nigeria, like Ghana, has had a checkered history.
Yes.
Ghana went through this rough patch.
Yes.
Except that in our case, we have recorded 9 coups, as I said the other time, and you know this. 5 of them successful, 4
botched.
Okay. Phantom coups.
Yes.
But Ghana has risen from the morass, and she's making it.
And that is why we should emulate them. That is why we should grow beyond this.
What made the difference in Ghana? Rawlings, leadership. In Rwanda, we saw what happened in the 90s, but now Rwanda is transiting from a third world
Rwanda
country
is a go-to country.
What is making
Tochukwu,
the difference?
I hear that people, even from your region and mine, are dying to visit Rwanda.
I I think we have leaders.
Leadership.
And Jonathan proved it in 2015.
Leadership was-
Forever, I will always respect that man. He may not have done everything we wanted, possibly was perceived as weak, whatever. But the fact that, one, Jonathan from nowhere appointed Jega, Professor Jega now, he never knew from anywhere. And when he lost an election, he graciously left office. That is leadership.
20
That is
minutes,
leadership.
20 minutes to 9. Take your time from us.
that mean-
And in 5 minutes, officially we'll open the telephone line just so you'll be a part of this.
Let me ask
discussion.
you a
The
question.
rotational presidency concept in Nigeria, the North-South conundrum.
Let me ask you a question. Jonathan lost the election and conceded. His followers followed him in his concession. If Jonathan had said, I did not lose this election, I'll fight with my last blood, I'll hold on to power, his followers would have followed him. The masses do not think
It was
they
not
follow.
in Jonathan's
it's
nature to
all-
do such.
Now,
Hence he didn't do
I'm not
that.
talking about his nature, I'm talking about the role of a
So
leader.
in other
He's a
words,
leader that determines everything.
Tochuku, let me expand that logic.
Yes.
You are saying for a responsible leadership, there must be a corresponding followership. So, Moses, is the problem leadership or leadership and followership?
In fact, you remind me of a theory in maths, that is set theory, where you have union, intersection. There is an intersection of leadership, followership problem here, maybe conundrum. Yes, I agree that if a leader will emerge, it will always come from his people. But then he's got to now raise his game so that he can address as many problems or whatever challenges they have. But if the followership is almost incorrigibly bad, to the point that you could consider, look, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Then you keep having mediocrities ruling. You have them at all tiers of government and in all arms of government. Look, who we call followers will also come alive. Look, above all things, we have our moral compass, our conscience. I have given this example time and again, and I'll give it just to underline something I'm saying, underscore what I'm saying. Once I was somewhere, I saw some people offloading, if I use that word now, all the garbage, the refuse in their gutter, in the drainage. And I spoke gently with 2-3 of them that I felt were reasonable. Oh, this is not fair. It's going to affect you. Before long, I guess some people looked at me with scorn and no problem. Who is this? Who are you to judge us? As in, but when I felt, oh, I may just be mobbed or lynched there, I left the place. Less than 3 or 4 days after that very ugly act, a deluge, a very heavy rain fell. And I was to pass through that route again. And guess what? I saw these people, as in pitiably, pouring water from wherever. They were just in pain. As in, you could tell that these people have had it so rough with the rains. Virtually all they had.
They could have said it is not our portion.
Of course. Or that it was one so-called leader that did this. Above all things, if that leader is not as you expect, you as a follower can do certain things. Singapore will refer to today that was taken from the third world to the first world by Lee Kuan Yew.
A leader.
Of course. But even after Lee Kuan Yew, they've had terrible leaders. But the followers have so imbibed his culture, his spirit, that they tell their leaders that this is what our father in quote told us, and we are not deviating. That is why they still maintain certain things. You don't chew gum in Singapore. You don't spit anyhow in Singapore because one person started it, but the followership bought into it, and today the followership drive the thing.
You talked about moral compass, and who determines or who defines the moral compass?
You.
The leaders. Because during those days when our leaders taught us that education was relevant, then people respected speaking well, being educated. A new era of leaders came and told us that it's all about hedonism. Enjoy your
pleasure,
spray money, seduce women. We agreed with that. So today you come and speak grammar for a Nigerian. In his mind, Abi na him I go chop. He's looking for something to chop, something that will bring about enjoyment, something that will tantalize him.
Stomach infrastructure,
women, sex, and all that. So it's leaders that set the moral compass. It's leaders that define the society. And once we get the right leadership in Nigeria, our trajectory will change. For now, we continue to everything is bungled up because of leadership.
We have leaders not only at the federal level, they should come up at the state level.
everywhere.
local government level.
Some leaders are activists. Some leaders are religious preachers. Martin Luther King Jr. was a preacher, not a politician. Some leaders are musicians. Fela was a leader.
True.
He set the moral tone in his own way.
Moral tone, Fela.
In his own way. I said in his own way.
Fela, be careful. Be careful what you wish for. Christmas is coming.
I set the moral tone.
Okay,
and
it's
leave it from one point to the other.
okay, it's 8:45, a quarter to 9. The line is officially open. Do you have any perspective to what we're saying or discussing? The rotational presidency concept in Nigeria, the North-South conundrum. 0700 903 903 903. But Abidin from Bagada has just sent something in. If we continue down this path, it's unlikely we'll experience meaningful progress or positive change. It's essential we foster a culture of accountability, transparency, and responsibility to ensure a brighter future for Nigeria. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, but if the man at the helm is not accountable, who can you hold accountable? If the man at the helm is questionable character with question marks all over his life, then how can you raise the moral and ethical bar? So it starts from the top and filters down to the bottom.
Are you implying that we've not been asking questions? We've been. Even this program is a metaphor on its own. Some leaders, governors have been jailed in this republic. The former president, governor of Taraba State. Many senators have been imprisoned. So many of them have been questioned. I think our democracy, yes, maybe we've not attained perfection. I know no democracy will ever attain perfection, but we are moving, we grow. Serap will always ask questions. If you think you are too clever, EFC will come after you. You and I on this platform right now, we are asking questions. People come in with their comments on WhatsApp, on the social media. They'll call in. We ask questions. So it's for us to keep asking, to keep probing. The press, keep asking questions. We can do this again and again. And I believe that in no time, 25 years and 25 years more, will attain a level of progress, advancement. If we do away with all this petulance, all this petty sentiment, it has to be me, it has to be my region. No, it won't help us. We won't grow that way.
You're saying that we are making progress.
Sure, yes, we are.
Yeah, we are making progress. And I am a determined optimist. I believe in Nigeria. I am unequivocal in support of the Nigerian Union. I'm opposed to any form of secession. But
you are shaking tables too.
But the thing is this. My optimism was rocked. My optimism was shaken following this last election. But that does not mean.
But trust is renewable. You can renew your trust.
Yeah, but that does not mean we cannot make progress and continue to make progress till we dig ourselves out of this quagmire. But we're making progress, not enough though. But the progress will be quickened or retarded by leadership.
Well, yeah, we can't overstate the importance of leadership. Neither do we downplay the relevance of followership, because an average state is made up of government and the governed. It's a two-way street. It's not about just those the few that occupy the ladder. I mean, Nigeria close to about 10,000 elective offices and over 80,000 appointment offices. So it tells you of how very few they can be. But these people determine a lot of things. But they get there not by fiat, not by even by prophecy, but because we put them there. We put them there at all levels.
And why did we put them there? Did they tell us, I know your problems, I will compound them if I come in. I know your problems, I cannot solve them for you if I come in. I know your problems, but I'll be enjoying myself and ignoring you if I come in. They didn't tell us that. They say, we know your problems and we have the solution to your problems. I will solve your
All
problems.
right, Tochukwu,
Trust me.
let's, in trying to take this discussion home, shall we look at a curious element here? Many Nigerian politicians are sore losers.
True.
solve those as
Yeah, that helps in no way to
Accentuate.
yeah, you know, the man loses an election, he fights till the death.
to us part. Yes, it's a societal thing, and then a misconception of what democracy is all about. Democracy is the people speaking. It's not about your ego. It's not about your personal ambition.
Yeah, for instance, look, for instance, Mr. John Mahama has become a comeback kid in America. He won a first term, tried to go for a second term, lost the election 2 times. He has come back. And the loser conceded victory.
Readily, even before the elections were concluded.
Congratulated him.
Yeah.
But it is not here.
Yeah, if we understand that it's about the people speaking, not about the individual. So the people have spoken, and democracy is about these people speaking. So I have no choice but to concede. But when you see it as my ego, do you know me? Okay, you see that's where the issue comes. And then the people also, because if the people are, it's just a societal issue. It's things
which
that
we can afford to do it with. If I borrow Sis Jones' very famous cliche, by choice, we choose to be like this.
Yeah.
We're not as in wired, as in deterministic attitude from God, or dogmatically wired to be like this. No, we've chosen to maintain this path. President Jonathan, again, I have to refer to him. Now, Ghana, to an extent, I believe what the INEC chairman said, that Ghana copied the idea, because for the loser, the incumbent vice president, to have easily considered, he actually learned that he borrowed the chapter from President Jonathan's book. For when he went to South Africa last year, he came back and gave the report that, or even this year, that over there they don't litigate unnecessarily, because they understand that once you lose, the elections have spoken very well, clearly well, that you lost. Here, we know something that we've lost this election, and yet we still want to just hit up the politics.
And it might also be lack of trust of the system. If you don't trust the institution that's to pretended the election.
What necessitates that? Because of it has to be me.
INEC? It's a number of factors.
Gentlemen, let me douse tension here.
Yes.
It is 4 days to Christmas. Tochuku, we're almost breasting the tape.
Yes.
Write a Christmas card.
For you, to you.
To Nigerians, to your listener.
Okay, Nigerians. Oh, just write it off cuff, huh?
You are speaking, you are writing.
I'm writing.
Yeah, we were taught when you speak, you are writing with light. So
Yes,
go on.
Even those days in school, if you copy something from somewhere, your professor will tell you didn't write this, because people write the way they speak. So speaking is writing. Okay, Nigerians, my good people, my long downtrodden, suffering, patient Nigerians, thank you so very much for listening to us. And the Christmas is around the corner. It's not a very wonderful time to celebrate Christmas, but let's manage what we have. Let's be hopeful. Things will improve. Happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Happy
Merry
New
Christmas.
Year, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, Moses.
Well, one, I wish as many, especially my students now, my jurisdiction, Merry Christmas, 4 days or 96 hours to the very, very big event. Christmas is a metaphor for hope, that even when mankind was in morass, in darkness, God out of his love gave. So this is a season to give, at whatever level, give, and surely you'll be remembered. I wish everyone who was listening from all quarters, wherever, a Merry Christmas, and make it that which will be a joyful one. I want Christmas to be remembered. Thank you.
And the last but not least word from me is this: while the merry bells, keep ringing, may every wish of yours for self and country come true. Merry Christmas. I'm out of here. Thank you.